Hello, everybody. This is Steve Yoder. Welcome to week 2 in Legal Studies 457, 557, Business Law for Accountants, here in the spring of 2024 at the UAB Collat School of Business. I hope everybody had a very pleasant spring break, but we're back to business here at the School of Business. We had an extra credit opportunity last week, or the first week of the course before spring break. You had until Sunday night the 17th to give me the correct answer. The correct answer to this question was the HEROES Act. The Supreme Court found that that law, the HEROES Act, did not actually give President Biden the power to discharge the student loan debt that he wanted to under that act, but he has since found a way, not under that act, but through other means, to relieve a great many student loan borrowers of their debt obligations. Some of you might be actually included in that. We have 3 sets of learning activities in the first learning module. We've done one, and today, this week, we're going to do the second sets, courts and ADR. ADR stands for Alternative Dispute Resolution. And next week, we have a set of learning activity on contracts, which is a lot of material and very important to the CPA exam, I might add as well. When you want to go into court, there have to be 3 elements. This slide summarizes a great deal of content that is in the textbook and in the PowerPoint slides that are online. The court has to actually have the power. This has to be the most convenient court, whether or not it has the power. Convenience uses the term venue, and you, or whoever the plaintiff is suing, has to be the right person to be doing that. You can't go in for your best friend and say he's too shy to sue, so I'm going to do it for him. You have to have standing to sue for yourself or for someone else. The concept of standing has come up a lot in front of the Supreme Court over the last several years, and for some reason the state of Texas has been the one trying to get into that court, and people have said that perhaps it does not have standing. The Supreme Court said that Texas lacked standing to challenge the Affordable Care Act, sometimes called marketplace insurance, sometimes called Obamacare. The court said, look, you just don't have enough of an injury to be coming in here and trying to strike down this law that, by the way, gives millions of people medical insurance that would not otherwise have it. Texas did it again. Right after the 2020 election, they went to court and they said, we think that the presidential election was stolen. And the Supreme Court said, what standing do you have out of all the states to come in and try to say that for every state in the United States? You don't even have standing in your own state to do that. So the concept of standing is very, very important. So going back to the student loan litigation that went on, we already looked at the question of what law was used to try to overturn that. What law did President Biden use to try to overturn that law? But here's another extra credit opportunity for 2 points added to your second exam by Sunday night, March 24. True or false? The individual borrowers, not the states, but the individual borrowers who went to the Supreme Court and said, we want to strike down that action that President Biden took because our loans were not forgiven. That's just not right, that some people would have their loans forgiven and I wouldn't. And the question for you to answer is true or false. Did those individuals making that argument have standing? So 2 points if you give me the answer to that by next Sunday night, the 24th. We'll also be looking at alternative dispute resolution in addition to going to court. There are various ways that, short of going to court, you can resolve disputes. Some of it is just, sit down and negotiate it. Sometimes it's a little bit more formal than that, like arbitration. But we will be looking at all of those. So here's our calendar. Today is Monday, March 18, and as you can see, we have a lot coming up. There are several quizzes that are due on the 24th of March, Sunday night, and then on the 27th, the first set of CPA client simulations are due. And the first exam opens on Thursday, March 28th at 5 p.m. in the afternoon and stays open until Sunday night, the 31st of March at 11:59 p.m. And there are some quizzes due that night as well.